5:31 PI, Pacific Mornings with Aggie.
Marla, welcome back to Pacific Mornings with Aggie here on 5:31 PI. We're sitting at 12 minutes past 8 o'clock. Now look, as we continue to celebrate a wiki katoanga o lea whakatonga, or the Tongan Language Week, we do know that the theme is Ke to'oloa ai lea whakatonga I Aotearoa, which means sustaining the Tongan language in Aotearoa. But who best to get someone on who is very much a big advocate for our Tongan community. He is a presenter, a reporter, a director, and you know him for his work on Tangata Pasifika, also our very own PMN Tongan Language show here on 5:31 PI. So with that, I say malolei to you, John Pulu, or should I say Mayor of or Little Kingdom of Tongan o Tahu.
Isolei. Si o to ofa malolei Aggie as well as Levi. Whakawhitai ki he Aggie he mai whangamari e koe ni. Te watu pēh ki whakatapu ka taki pē Aggie. Tapu pia mō kingi tuheitia pia mō e tangata whenua o Aotearoa, tapu pia mō tupo ono, ko e hautoka e otu whereni te pia mō e whare o haa mo hea fo. Whakatapu at whoki ki a mere siu iri ku tapu kalani walfoto whiri mo hou eiki, whakatapu at ki a haatawi whanua, haataki lotu, pia whakaturo o atu. Hou eiki pia mō e kāinga Tonga, hono kotoa I Aotearoa ni, pia mō e kolope. Happy Tongan Language Week. This is the 11th edition or year we're celebrating our beautiful golden language here in Aotearoa, and it is so awesome to be part of this porokalama, and for the first, the second day technically, but it's awesome to be part of the porokalama. Aggie malo au pite mau whangamari.
Absolutely, Malo Pito John Hosi ka mai ke pokalama. I must say, look, I've been talking to producer Levi off air. There's that differences, right, between, of everyday common type of talanoa versus there is that, your introduction right there, that type of more formal type of language that we use often when we're trying to address people. I must say, John, just off the bat of that, was this something that you had always known with the Tongan language growing up, or was it something that you really had to invest and try and learn a little bit more about?
It's a beautiful thing about our language, Aggie. There are different layers. Koe ngahi le volo kehe o ai whakawhihokotake, ai talanoa pe me pehe. So we have in Tonga, because we're the only country with a monarchy, we have the King's language, oku kehe pe ai tofolofola and afio, and then we go into whenea aki koina ho eki, the nobility level, and then there's the commoner language as well. So it's such a unique and beautiful thing that I guess it differentiates us from other Pacific cultures is the different levels of language. But with that comes the whaikawekola, there's whakaapa in there, lototo, humility and things like that. So I think that's something that is so important that not only we bring up during the language weeks, but we should also encourage people, our Tongan people in particular, and those who are keen to learn our language, to also learn a little bit more about the different layers. But I think this is a fantastic idea that we're able to celebrate our lea whakatonga here in Aotearoa. And thank you to the tangata whenua, the government, everyone that's making sure that we're able to hold on to our language. Because I know that over the years it's been up and down in terms of retaining the language, but goodness me, when there's a MMT game or a sports event, you definitely see the Tongan ma whana, and that's what it's all about. And I do hope that people continue that, not just with the sports event, not just with the other cultural events, but also with our language and also our writing as well, which is just important as well.
Yeah, I love that. Sione, of course, like I said, we're the theme this year, of course, right? Ke to'oloa ai lea whakatonga I Aotearoa, which trying to sustain. But before we get into it, I want to ask what you feel about that meaning behind that. But, for every Tongan that's out there, they always try to claim that you're related. So we would love for you to share maybe what village, because share where you're from, how proud you are of your Tongan culture. If you don't mind sharing that this morning.
Go here. So my father, he is from Holopeka and Kolo Ha'apai Iwi.
Oh, wow.
And my mother is from Siakoveiongo, Kolomotua, Nukualofa Tonga Tapu. And I'm from Otahuhu, Little Tonga. So that's our villages. So I'm very, very proud to call myself Tongan as well as part Fijian as well. But the work that I do, it's a huge privilege, Aggie. I know you know what it's like to work in this platform. We're able to connect to our people's ears, hearts, and minds, their homes. They bring us into their living room or cars every day. So malo apito to everyone that's supported the program 531 as well as Tangata Pasifika. We are very, very honoured.
So Sione, in regards to the actual theme again, I mean, what's
Oh
your
yeah,
understanding? Because of course, I would say often us as Tongans, we
oh
very
yeah,
much hold on to the language. I think that's very much
oh yeah,
prevalent in our culture. But for yourself, you know, when you were growing up, nake o si pota pehe re whatonga, or is it something that you had
oh
to
yeah.
really learn?
Oh yeah, fortunate enough to grow up in Tonga, so that taught me a lot about life and values. And I guess coming from Tonga to here, you see what the reality is like growing up in the
Eyo.
islands and some of the challenges. So go whiawhia pita ki mai whainga maari ko ia ki wa tupu hake a takai ko ia o ofa whakapa apa at home in Tonga and continue that and bringing it here to Aotearoa.
Sorry.
And this is something that a lot of our families are continuing to do, living between Tongan and a Western world or Palangi world, rather. And it's beautiful that we have a theme like this, Tūloa, ke
Oh
ngawe
yeah.
ake ke sustain, puke puke, ke ngawe ake, not just today, but also continuing it forward. It's wonderful that we're celebrating it today, but I think, things like in speaking in relation to us in broadcasting,
Yeah.
for me, it's music that's been a massive help for me, to connect me to my culture. And I said this in a previous interview, but it's when I go somewhere and I play my music, my heart and mind just transforms
Oh
or
yeah.
transfers me back to the kingdom of Tonga. And
Always.
we one of our wonderful composers from the Friendly Islands, Queen Charlotte
Eyo.
Tupolutolu. And if you want to look for wisdom and bits of gold from the kingdom, the Friendly Islands, that is one way to connect. And it's awesome that even our Tupu, our young people, are now using her music, but
That's it.
making it or doing it in a more modern way. So, koe whangi whaunga pea e la vai ke tau puke puke mo whainga ke tuuloa e re whakatonga. These are just
Good.
one of the vehicles, one of the methods that we can use to uphold and make sure that, it's not fully traditional, but it's a modern take. And as long as they do it with respect and dignity and also honor the artists who worked hard to compose these beautiful pieces of music, I think that that'll be great to hold on to our language going forward.
Nice. Yes, and see, you've mentioned that the whole thing about music. I think that is definitely a great way to
Oh
start
yeah,
and learn. I suppose when you're hearing a song, right, the lyrics stick with you. So then
oh
you
yeah,
obviously want to maybe try and learn what those lyrics mean too at the same time. But Sione, when I think about someone's language journey, if they're gonna
oh
just
yeah,
start it now, because remember, we come here from Tonga to Aotearoa.
oh
Again,
yeah,
many people are now half caste here. They have
oh
different
yeah, oh yeah,
cultures. O koe
oh yeah,
Tonga pe. So if
yeah,
someone was just like, man, I don't know where to start, what
oh
would be
yeah.
your encouragement for that person to try and start their journey of learning the language and the culture itself?
Oa te mau whiu he whenga ke rea whakatonga. Don't be afraid, don't ever give up in terms of your journey to learn our beautiful language, rea whakatonga. As I mentioned, there are different layers. Start from the basic, the common everyday language, and then from there you enrich whakakoloa, your mind and thinking to learn about the different layers.
Koia.
I was encouraged. I watched the video of basketballer Steven Adams recently
Koia.
on
Yes.
Facebook and social media. He was, with the lead of Dame Valerie Adams,
Koia.
his older sister, teaching him how to introduce himself in Tongan. And to see him struggle, he made a few mistakes, but he just kept going. And for me, that was like, that's what it's all about. Don't give up. You can have a little giggle and laugh,
Yeah.
but what you have to do if you're standing around people who are trying to learn, just be supportive. Whe pou aki, whe tokoni aki, I hono
Koia.
whenga I koe ni ke taulawa o ngawi ake rea whatonga. So my encouragement is, listen to our programs, PM in Tonga every Wednesday from
Sai.
3 p.m. until 6 a.m.
Nice little
But
plug.
also, just a little, thank you so much. Ki palaki e tupeki po I polokalama koia. Also, there are the music as well.
Eyo.
I've been to different parts of the world, and the music just always reminds me of home, and that will never ever change, no matter where you are in the globe or in this universe. When
Yeah.
you go away, you can always take our music with you, and that's something that's important because we've brought that to whichever part of the world you're in right now. We've whakakoloa, we've enriched the communities and cultures, and Yeah, it's really cool that we're able to continue celebrating who we are as
Love
Tongans
it.
here in Aotearoa. And, you know, I can
Mm.
go on with the different success stories of our
Yeah.
Tongan people here in Aotearoa, but very, very grateful that we're able to use our rea whakatonga. You know, who'd know that, you know,
Yeah.
we'll be doing something like this.
That's
This is
it.
definitely something I'm sure those who first came to Aotearoa didn't realize, you know, we were
Mm.
able to do because they were told not to use our languages. So
Yeah.
we're very lucky.
Mm.
It's a privilege for us to share with the different cultures here in New Zealand.
I'm really inspired by you, John, because you have definitely led the way in
Oh,
regards to
yeah.
taking our
I'm only
no,
a
this is
small,
it.
small
No,
bit.
to take our culture to the world. Because, like you said, you have travelled the world. You've seen many things. Well, how often is it that? I mean, we already know how proud you are as a Tongan, but how is it? How much does that play into when you're doing, your interviewing, your stories and things like
Oh,
that
yeah.
that you find out? I mean, yeah, how much does your culture play
Oh, yeah.
into that?
I think koe manatu pe ki he ngahi whae
Mm.
ka wei kola. You know,
Mm.
us Tongans were enriched with, you know, these, I guess they're kind of like pillars of our
Mm.
language. You know, this is something that when you were born, it's already in you, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
It's like our motto, o tua motonga ko tofia. We're already
Mm.
born with it. It's
That's it.
a part of us. So our whae ka wei kola talks about the four pillars, you know, things like humility, respect, and also there are many others. But
Mm.
you've
Mm.
surprised me that I've lost track of my thoughts there.
It's
But do Google it. Pe mo
Sai ke tau
kūkoro
ilo,
i
eh?
atu. Sai ke tau ilo. O wana.
Oh, one.
Uh, and, uh, and these are the things and values that I
Mm.
believe has, you know, been taught to me, and these are things that I want to pass on, and
Mm.
I encourage our Tongan people. Ke mo tokoni I hono a ko I hono puke puke a
Mm.
ngahi whai ka wei kola ke ngawe aki he taimini pia mo e tō tangata hono hoko. So
Sai.
I think that's something that you know I will
Mm.
always be proud of. Is you know, we're always surrounded by these
Of
things,
course.
and thankfully here at home, my mother always spoke in Tongan, so that helped.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
I've been to you know, many homes where it's Tongan and English, but it is, I must
Yeah.
admit, it is difficult. It is challenging sometimes. You know, when you're growing up between the two worlds, you know. There are heaps of rules, you know, when it
Isn't there?
comes to Tongan. You know, the brother-sister relationship,
Iyo.
which is really beautiful. You know, because it's so awesome and unique to Tongan. You know, we
Mm.
have
Mm.
the fahu system, and then
Ko
we have,
ia.
yeah, we just there's
Yeah.
a lot of layers,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
to being Tongan. But
And
yeah,
we're going to be breaking
this is
down those layers, Sione, later in the week. We're
Goya,
going to get someone to come on and explain those things. Because,
Goya.
a lot of times, if you've got non-Tongan people coming through and they see a fahu sitting at the, at the front of
Yeah,
of a funeral service, they're like, well, who is that
Goya.
person? Why
Yes,
are they there? And honestly, sometimes it's like taranoa loa loa. But you want to
we
break it
need a
down.
Tongan 101. Eh?
We do
Iyo,
need a Tongan
Goya,
101.
Goya.
So before
Iyo.
we wrap up though, Sione, I mean, look, this has just been a great talanoa. What would I suppose? I'd love to get encouragement also because you're in this field of media. Hey, ka pau kia
Goya.
ha tamaiki, like a young Tongan generation who are looking up to you, and they're looking up to you, Sione. What is your encouragement for them to want to get into this field of media?
Goya. Well, this is part of the journey of
Mm.
you know, helping preserve our language and culture, is
Koia.
having our own people be part of that,
Mm.
and that was the encouragement for me whilst at Otahuhu College.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago, was that we were
Still
not seeing
21.
our own people on screen and
Eyo.
hearing more of our voices on air. And now we're online. So it's using that space,
Mm.
I guess, in a respectful way as well. So I highly encourage our
Mm.
people, you
Mm.
know, we can be the change of what we want to see in our communities.
Sai.
And so this is something that I highly encourage those who want to go into journalism, broadcasting, and I'm
Mm.
just so really, really grateful that we have a station like this, a
Yes.
program like Tangata Pasifika on TVNZ, and still the only Pacific programs or waka on television as well as PMN on radio that are still going, you know, many
Mm.
years now. That I think 531 is nearly 30. And
30
TP is
next year.
yeah,
Yeah.
35. So
Eyo.
it's awesome that we have these vehicles, and we need more of our people to think about
Mm.
these platforms.
Got
And I
ya.
know people are already broadcasting. You see them on Facebook
That's it.
and Twitter and all the social media platforms. So it's
Yeah.
it's encouraging. But come and join our wonderful careers, our jobs here
Mm.
on radio as well as television.
quick fire question, okay? So there's going to be
Yes.
3 that I'm quickly going to ask you. One is
Three
favorite
Tongan?
favorite Tongan food,
Yeah.
favorite place to visit in the world, and then when are you getting married?
Whoa. Well, let's address it backwards. Let's start with question number 3, Your Honour. Thank you, Your Grace. Number 3, we are still working on it, so please be patient. Question number 2, thank you, Madam Speaker. My favourite place in the world, Otahuhu. Yes. The little friendly town here in
That is it.
Aotearoa.
Yeah.
And number 1 favourite food, Tongan food, of course, we can't go past the lu. You know, I love the lu pulu masima or povi masima with some kumala or ufi that's been loloi, that's been smothered in
Tauwhia
the coconut
kaya
cream,
he taimi.
or loi feke. Iyo, or the loi
Number
feke is
one.
another favourite. And of course, otai, just to top it off, the pièce de
course.
résistance, to make it just amazing.
And
Malo
let me
apito.
say, you could probably find all of that in Otahuhu, couldn't you?
That's
that
right.
mea kai.
So
Yeah.
can I please, I invite everyone that's in Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, come to Otahuhu. We've got Tongan restaurants from the top to the bottom
Yes, you
of
do.
our town centre. And you can buy Tongan clothing here. And if you're single, you might find a Tongan here too. So there we go.
Ma'alahi, sa ke tau,
All
oh,
we
ana,
do
eh?
it for you in Otahuhu.
I love the plug. Sione, it has been such
Go
a
on.
privilege to catch up with you. I'm just, again, I'm always inspired and admire how you have just
Likewise,
forged the
sis.
way for our Tongan community. So
O whaat kia koe.
just want to say malo apito, hosi i kau mai ke pokalama he pongpongini. Malo i ngawe offer and, all the best. And, we'll see you at your wedding, eh? Oh,
Oh, yeah, wait for that. We might all be in wheelchairs by then, but let's not give up Aotearoa.
I
Let's
love
not
it.
give up.
Oh, look,
Whalahi atu,
o
malo
whalahi
pita
atu,
mau
John.
whakamari.
Thank you very much. Again, that is presenter, reporter, director for Tangata Pasifika. He is also one of our very much producers here for PMN Language, Tongan Language show here on 531 PI. If you missed part of this interview,